Hey, muscle car fans! So we got another Hot Wheels to go under the 3D printed wheel treatment, and this time around it's a 1967 Chevelle SS396. Um, this would make it the first generation of Chevelle, which first came out in 1963 and then ended in 1977. Uh, Now, this Chevelle SS396, I guess, became a series of its own in 1966. And the SS moniker was Chevy's entry into the muscle car battle. I'm getting all this from Wikipedia, so I apologize if any of this is wrong. And then the 396 cubic inch engine, or 6.5 liters, was making around 375 horsepower, so that's pretty impressive. Although this is probably a pretty heavy car as well, so by modern standards, maybe not so impressive. The 1967 version, this thing here, has a facelift, and it has these wraparound tail lamps, which I guess didn't exist in the years before. And in the real photograph, it's running on 14-inch wheels. Okay. So the SS package got you some reinforcement in the frame, some revised front suspension, higher rate springs, recalibrated shocks, and thicker stabilizer bars, some simulated hood scoops, I guess, red striped tires, and some chrome trim. So that's all I got for you guys. Let's take a look and see what Hot Wheels did to interpret that. So I see some sticking out door handle and key thing. This printing is nice with Hot Wheels as usual because it's all tampos. I don't think they ever use decals, right? They would just break off or chip off, or kids would lick them off or something. Unfortunately, they very often take liberties and have these, staggered tire sizes. So, but I was just looking really more at the wheel wells, which do look relatively similar in size. So I think when it put the same diameter wheels on, it'll just level out. Whereas right now it's kind of raked, with the taller rear tire, which is fine. Okay, so the headlamps, yeah, the whole thing is chromed, right? The whole bottom. I think maybe if I add a little black paint in here, it'll help out bring the grill out at least. Nice detail there. That seems okay. I guess this little rectangle should probably be chrome and black. I don't know if I have the skills to do that, so I might avoid it. Some raised wiper blades, no paint though. And then, some casting gouges and scratches, which makes me wonder how old this is. 2009 was the first copyright, so who knows how old this mold is, but I've actually seen a lot worse. So even though it's got a bunch of scratches, it's not as bad as I've seen it. It's not the worst one I've seen. Alright, so yeah, you can see the wrap-line taillights, and I guess I'll have to... Well, that's black on that image there. No SS molded in, though. That seems like an easy thing they could have done, molded in the SS. Well, blank license plate, blank here. Those are the backup lights. That should be white. Okay. Yeah, I like that. It's pretty cool, these little buttresses here on the C-pillar. Okay, well, I mean, it's a Hot Wheels. There's not much to it, I suppose, but it's a pretty cool looking car, I think. It's looks similar enough to the photographs. It's not too cartoonish. Only the rear wheels make it look really cartoonish, but hopefully I can come back and fix that. And so we're back with some wheels. These are Krager SS wheels, and I ran into a couple issues. The wheels are actually equal size. The tires are also equal size because most people run their cars that way. Although I'm going to show you a photo where they actually do it the Hot Wheels way. But then I realized you got this giant wheel well there. So with the stock axle holes, there was just too much of a gap. It looked really weird. So then I decided to sink both the front and rear in. So it looks, it's kind of hiding more of this massive gap that Hot Wheels has here because they had such a big tire in the rear of the car. So I think it turned out alright, but a couple issues that I've noticed if you're going to try to do a wheel swap with equal size wheels. This chassis is designed for that giant rear wheel, so I literally have to trim off these flanges and actually the diff there And also on the front, there were two little flanges there. So that's something to be mindful of. And then I 3D printed the wheels and tires, of course, but I actually had to shave them down to actually fit underneath the die-cast fenders because the fenders are so wide. You can see how thick it is, right? So some changes had to be made. A couple washers, spacers, just fiddling around with the 3D print. Beyond that, I had a little extra black paint here, a little paint wash. And here's an error you should be mindful of. The plastic windows Hot Wheels uses is really super soft. So I put some silver paint marker on here and I screwed up, and then I took a Q-tip and it just started eating away, the paint, I think, into the plastic. So it's best to maybe just leave the wipers alone and not try to paint them. Okay, so a little extra paint wash in here, those vents there, silver on the door handle and the key thing, some transparent red for the taillights, and then some black paint here for this stripe. So that's it for the changes. Oh, and I took a little silver and put it around the side windows. Tiny little bit of chrome look there. Alright, so I'm going to pull out this tray of comparison here just to show you how slammed to the ground it is. So this silver chrome bottom is literally touching the base here, and so that's how far forward I have this one. And then the rear is almost touching as well. I just took a drill bit and made a giant hole here. In the end, I had to just super glue them in place because the hole I drilled was just too big, so the wheel is moving front and back and stuff. So these wheels don't move at all. They're just crazy glued in place. But I do think it actually still gives it a staggered look. It's just not a staggered look. I'm sorry. It gives the stance. I don't know what you would call that. A rake stance. Someone leave a comment if I don't know my muscle car stances. But it's simulating Hot Wheels just with equal size tires. So here's a photo of a real car running these Kragers, but in this case, I think the person literally has thicker tires on the back, taller sidewalls. So this is very Hot Wheels-like, so as much as I would like Hot Wheels to have equal-sized wheels on the front and back of their castings, in some cases they really are simulating reality. So I guess they're not gonna listen to me anyways, but that's just something to be mindful of. What I consider might be cartoon looking actually does happen in real life. Okay, well anyways, let's get the spin thing out. And oh, one other thing I want to do actually is the scale. I looked up a 67 Chevelle and it's 5,004 millimeters. So I'm going to just go for the overall length measurement. Longest point. 79.85. Computing. Okay, so it's around 163rd, 62.6 scale. It's not massively off, but obviously it's a little bit off from your regular 164 scale cars. So now we know. And in fact, here's a green light. This is a Chevy Nova by Greenlight. And so there's a lot of weight for the solar thing. Alright guys, well it's always fun to pick up these little inexpensive models, or I guess they're not models, inexpensive toys that look like cars, and do a little customization. So yeah, this chassis wasn't the easiest to customize. It just wasn't meant to take equal size wheels like you can see on this Nova, but I think it still turned out relatively okay, and I didn't really spend too much money on it anyway, so it worked out well. Alright guys, well I'll see you guys in the next swap. Thanks for watching.